I pushed the button a second sooner than I thought, and then I was like, well, I have 3 seconds to either cancel it or go ahead and start talking when you were not prepared to start talking. And I think we're doing pretty good. I should be able to do this. We don't have to delete and start over. Because I am driving, checking in on people's live comments is going to be not easy. So, I don't know. It might be possible still. But I probably will only look at stoplights if that was something that looked safe. I'm not really sure if it would be safe, but it seems safer than doing it while driving, and I'm definitely not going to do that. No matter how interesting your comments might be, I'll just keep driving. I promise to be safe, and I figured this was probably a good way to do, because I've made recently, well, most of the videos I've made recently, I like reconsider, and that's the worst thing that you can do. Maybe it's the best thing, I don't know, but I've basically made 3. Okay, it looks like I'm disconnecting. Okay, so anyway, the good news, I'm with a fellow left tuber, Damon Garcia. Damon is a fantastic YouTuber. He is the leading voice on the Christian leftist front. His channel is severely underrated. For all the talk of promoting or signal boosting creators of color, I've seen surprisingly little support for Damon Garcia's channel. And maybe that's because that's not his focus. His focus lately has been stuff more like, but it's always from a leftist perspective. Did that even work? Is this even working? It says we've been recording for 3 minutes, but then it's like, oh, it had me have to refresh it. So maybe my internet's too bad and I can't actually see what's going on here. What up, chat? Thank you, Brian. Thank you, yo, hi, Skeledro Man. Nice name, Brian. Thank you. Okay, it's cutting out a little bit. Thanks for the heads up. I'm at a red stop, a red light, a red stop. I'm at a red light, so I was able to check the chat for a second. I got my McDonald's coffee. I don't know if you knew this, but if anyone's poor out there, and you like coffee, but you don't need it very special, you know, it turns out I've been all over the country and I've been overseas, and coffee is best at McDonald's compared to, well, if we're talking about quality, it's better than any gas station that I've ever been to, which I also drink gas station coffee. But if we're talking about the price, you can't beat it. It's $1 for a large. I mean, Starbucks would cost you like $5, it seems like, for that. So anyway, I'm on my way to San Francisco right now. Before I move, I'm trying to meet with many of the people who I already had plans to see. And one of those people right now is in San Francisco. But on Friday, I will be traveling to meet with Damon Garcia. And we were like, should this be a surprise? No. Surprise, because people should be able to make time and put that on their calendar. So as soon as we actually have a time nailed down, we'll pin that comment below. So Damon, whenever you figure out what time works best when I'm there, go ahead and comment and I'll pin your comment. A couple other things I was going to touch on before getting off of this announcement, though. In fact that I've made 3 videos and decided each one was trash and not worth publishing. That kind of frustration and creative constipation for me tends to be beneficial. When I was a kid, I used to build Lego. I don't know, anyone out there, Lego fans? Give it up for Lego if you are. And that was like the OG Minecraft, right? Well, if if I spent 3 hours building something and then I was still just not feeling it, I'd tear it all apart and then rebuild, and it would always be something different and way better. And that's where I've been at with videos. Along with the 3 videos that I've made that were trash that I decided not to publish, there is another one, a script that I've rewritten. I finally wrote it the 3rd time, and this time I'm like, that's the one. And I'm doing a cool crossover with, well, I'm not going to tell you who it is, but there's a really cool crossover coming up on one of the videos. And it's the sequel to the Distracted Friends essay. So it's the one that I've overthought way too much and that I really should have just gotten out there sooner. Maybe not. Perfectionism can be good, I guess, but no, I'm kind of happy that this one has taken as long as it has, because even if you think it sucks, okay, it's like a lot better than it would have been, because it was shit. That script was shit. I was like, I can't publish this in good conscience. I was writing stuff like I was just writing like such overly simplistic historical leaps. I feel like this happens whenever people do philosophy of or kind of the history of ideas. There are certain modes that an educator can go in, and I was going into them, and I was like rereading it, and I was like, I can't believe this. Like, just stop it. It's like, yeah, you have to tell it like a story, but no, you don't have to tell it like in a way where it's oversimplifying the history of Rome to such a degree. Like, I mean, that's the stuff that the right does. That's the stuff that Stefan Molyneux does. It's like, there's no reason for me to be engaging in that kind of overly simplistic historical stuff. So I just had to dig deeper. I had to reevaluate. I had to change my approach. So, thanks for keeping me sharp. To the folks who do raise the important critical questions in comments that get me thinking. I do want to, I guess one of the big parts of this update that I want to put out there is that I've been really feeling the, well, every time, there's been some really important questions that people have asked. Like, there's 4 separate comments that I've gotten over the course of the last week and a half, and each one, I was like, damn, that's the best comment I've had in a while. Like, in terms of, not just like support or critique, but in terms of like, wow, I could really research the questions they're asking and really come up with something worth talking about. That's my favorite kind of critique, is the kind that really gives me work to do and inspires me to do more work. And some people, like, their critique just inspires me to like not like them. Other people, their critique inspires me to want to dig deeper, and I love that. And I guess that part of the difference is like, is it critique or is it someone just kind of performing being critical or cynical? Like, those are not the same thing. Like, critique in the sense of like, here, let me help you gain some critical distance on this thing and provoke some uncertainty so that you can develop a better formulated thought. Like, that's what I love, and I've had a few of those, and even one of them wasn't exactly that. It wasn't that high level of a critique. Someone just called me a reformist on Instagram. And, usually nothing interesting happens on Instagram, and I don't usually ever think about it. But this one, I just kept thinking about it. I was like, I think I've called people reformists for supporting Bernie before, even though I've always supported Bernie. It is a form of reformism. It is a form of liberalism. He is a sock dem. It is working within the context of the existing order. I guess that's true. Like, I am supporting that. I mean, that's not my end game. The thing is like, when someone calls you an ist, and I think that person was playing. It was playful, and I appreciate that. But it still had me thinking. Like, I just feel like a lot of the binary oppositions between things. Part of the task of critical theory is to just deconstruct those. Not to say that we don't use them, and not to say that they are irrelevant, but so that we don't take them so seriously, so that we don't take them as absolutes. So, I guess I'll just also say I'm not reading comments while driving. So, I'm on the freeway now. I was at a red light, and so I was able to do that. But now that I'm on the freeway, it's just like, I'm going to stay in the slow lane or the middle lane and keep my eye on the road and enjoy my coffee and talk just like you were in the passenger seat. And if trolls start blowing shit up in the live chat, steer clear is all I can say. I hope that there might be a mod that hops in and gets them out of there, but I expect that this is not true because I do my best not to feed the trolls and who might pass by. It's interesting to think about YouTube videos as something that people pass by, as in terms of like analogies. It's not like people go to a movie theater and then sit down and then watch the videos that they planned on watching, you know, and that they are doing so with other people. You know, I remember ContraPoints, Natalie was talking about, you know, probably one of the articles of the New York Times? I'm not sure where it was, but she was talking about how it's a completely different medium than anything we're used to in film because it's made for a person who's watching it on a small screen or a large screen, usually in private, and potentially like they just stumbled on it and they have no reference for what's going on. Very, you know, and then you have to, you know, obviously there's the people are very distracted because it's the attention economy, and so you have to do what you can to hold all of that. It is definitely a really interesting medium, and I'm so distracted, obviously, that I've gone way off track from where I was just to talk about what? How I'm trying to focus on driving. I don't know what I was talking about. I can't read the comments either. I think that was the main point. ContraPoints. God, I was going somewhere with that. Whatever. Anyway, everybody, this announcement is really just to let you know that I'm going to be getting interviewed by Damon Garcia of the Christian Left on Friday, and I'll be interviewing him as well. 2 separate interviews. It's going to be a really fun day. I'm going to drive out there. It's like a 4-hour drive to go see him, but he's one of my favorite. He's definitely one of my favorite small YouTubers. I think that he brings a really healthy perspective and a much needed perspective, and that there are a lot of reasons that people should be elevating Damon Garcia right now. And there's even more reasons why you should be getting excited for that and planning questions that you might want to ask during that Twitch stream. Think about the questions because it will be live. The topic when I'm being interviewed is going to be about critical theory. What is it? What is critical theory as opposed to critical thinking? What is critical theory in academia? What is critical theory in activist circles? What is the difference? What are the better modes of engagement, in my opinion, the better modes of engagement, and like the better purposes and modes for critical theory? What are the worse, more less useful or productive, or perhaps even bad? We'll put a value judgment on it and then question that later. But you know, for all practical purposes, it's like, what are the bad things that happen? What are the ways that too much critical theory turns into a new kind of Kool-Aid, or ways that people use it to bully other people into, it's like, oh, well, you either need to believe this and just get on board with it, or you better go read the theory so that by the time you're done reading that theory, you'll be on board with where I'm at. And then obviously, because people aren't going to be able to take the time to do that, then they don't really know. And then, yeah, there's this whole kind of spiral that occurs, and then theory gets a pretty bad rap because at the end of the day, it's nerd shit, and people do not have a moral obligation to do a nerd thing. And nerds do not have an ethical duty, and perhaps it might even ethically compromise them to be going around trying to moralize their personal research interests, even though obviously theory is really useful to scientists, to activists, to statesmen, statespeople, however you want to say. So I want to pull over and look over the comments really quick, But hold on. Let me crash my car really quick. And then I'm just gonna get off of this freeway at the next exit so I can actually look over the comments. Like I said, I've been making a lot of stuff, but deciding that half my videos are trash and rewriting the ones that I think are worth doing. Generally speaking, they say that if it's worth doing, it's worth doing right. My response to that is typically, but it's also worth just getting out there and then redoing later. If it's worth redoing, it's worth repeating. And so there are video essays that I kind of want to just get out there, and then I can come back and like recapitulate them once I have a better idea of what's going on. But the Big Mood essay was a good example of that. I just had to say it, and I was not going to get bogged down in the nitty-gritty aesthetic stuff that I typically do when it comes to editing. But you know, that experiment in minimalism, it got some critical feedback, which I really appreciated. It also got some positive, that was awesome, great aesthetic choice. I found it captivating. But you know, these are for different tastes, and so I'm not sure if that's going to be a mode I go in a lot with future video essays. But stripping it down to its simplest was a really cool experiment, because it's going to really help me pull together the first couple of lessons I'm going to make for you all. The lessons I'll be making for you all to be able to make your own video essays. And right now you're going to say, Theory, I don't fucking care. You make the goddamn video essays. It's the whole fucking point. Like, I'm not trying to fucking quit my job and do this shit. I'm not saying you should. I'm not saying you would. But maybe you want to. And if you do want to, I would do everything I can to help you in that. But the thing is even if you don't, the thing is later maybe you will. Maybe 3 months from now, you're gonna be walking along and you're gonna hear someone say something on a video, and you're just like, gosh, I wish someone would write a video essay where the thesis is just this one thing. I just wish more than anything that, and then you're like, crap, Theory Plead totally made a video. It's easy. All I have to do is sit for 3 hours and follow along, and then that's because Theory Plead went and spent 9 months trying to figure it all out, watched hundreds of videos and took a bunch of classes on Skillshare, and then consolidated all those hundreds of hours into a 1 or 3 hour video lesson. Yeah, that's what I want to do, and I'm really excited to do it, because there's a million tutorials out there, but not just for making quality video essays. Now, there are video essay tutorials, and I will link, but from what I've seen about those are more about the format, and they're a lot less about okay, so you've never opened Premiere. You've maybe taken a video with your phone, but you don't even know how to get that onto the computer. You don't know what to do with your microphone. Do you need, it's okay. It's gonna be all right. It's all gonna be straightforward and easy, and I'm gonna streamline this so much. And this is basically one of the videos I've been working on that I decided not to release, is basically on this. I've been really feeling like as long as Being Cool is for Nerds and River Ransom and other folks who like to get up in the comments, as long as they want to do video essays but they don't even know where to start, that's something I really want to focus on with my own content, is creating the how-to stuff, because ultimately, to me, that's what sharing, it's if I get some privilege, whether justly or unjustly, if I have any kind of an advantage, and I'm able to share it or spread it, then I ought to. That's kind of how I think about it most of the time. And that's what I'm really excited to be doing. And I'm about to introduce, this is the last big announcement probably. I'm about to introduce you all to the youngest bread tuber of all time. Now, I'm not doing that right now. I'm not driving to his house right now. But there is an up-and-coming bread tuber star who is on top top of it, man. Imagine Soph, but for the left, but younger, like 9. He is... Well, I don't want to sit here and rattle off little things about this person. I'm just going to say, stay tuned. I'm going to teach him how to make his first video on Thursday, the day before I go see Damon Garcia, which you should be putting on your vague calendar. Your vague calendar being the one that you just know it's sometime on Friday, and then we'll nail down the time and pin that comment below later. All right, I'm finally here, y'all. I'm off the freeway, so let's go ahead and look at this. Okay, so first of all, I got a compliment on my hair. That is a huge thank you. Jesus is a chill dude who loves to smoke dank weed. Where's the lie? Let's go to the top. All right, Brian. Who capitalism fall first, or will the planet? Will capitalism fall first, or will the planet? I'll come back to that. Skeledro Man. Why did you say American Johnson? What's up with American Johnson? I love American Johnson. Is that why you're saying American Johnson? That fellow, that creepy fellow. Looking forward to it. Oh, LOL. Is it 3 arrows or step back? Is who 3 arrows or step back? If you're a poor person, but you've got too much pride for McDonald's, just remember their coffee is better than like any gas station coffee ever, and it's only $1 for a large. This is not an endorsement of McDonald's, it's an endorsement to rip them off, because that's not a cost advantageous price. They kind of are banking on the idea that you will stay and get other food. Just don't stay and get other food. I mean, and also no judgment if you do. All right, so what's going on here? Stay safe. Thank you. Thank you, Kamazots. Thank you for creating. Yes, constructive critique. It's so great when it's really actually constructive, when you can tell the person is really trying to engage. Kamazots. Oh, hola, amigo. I don't know how to pronounce that. Good to see I'm not the only one who drives and streams. Oh, you also do? Do you have a channel, Kamazots? And I didn't even know this. It's time for me to check that out. There's nothing wrong with using reform to get closer to where we need to get. Yeah, I don't know. I just hate false binary oppositions that people use to reify false friend-enemy distinctions. That shit's fascist as fuck. It's reactionary. It's foolish. It's dangerous. You can't say you're anti-fascist and then, like, do your utmost to reify binary oppositions and friend-enemy distinctions, because that's literally like the fucking essence of fascism. If you read Carl Schmitt, the person who like wrote the concept of the political, the Nazi who wrote the concept of the political, it's like Nazism versus liberalism. Okay, well, we need an alternative. The alternative is not to just embrace half of Nazism and just get rid of the other half, right? But, you know, whatever. That's one of the video essays I need to do that I'm inevitably going to fuck up, and it's one of the reasons I've been holding back on that one, because I'm trying to get it right, but whatever. Yo, Microsoft Word technical support, good to see you. Gotta do work. Yes. Hasta luego. Hasta luego. I'm trying to learn Spanish, but I haven't even taken a class yet, and I'll hopefully be doing that soon. Later, comrade. Oh, River. Haha, what's up? The interviews sound like a great idea. Looking forward to hearing what you and Damon explore. Oh my God, I'm so excited to interview Damon. I'm coming up with my questions now. Go ahead and comment in the actual video itself if you have questions you'd like me to ask Damon. But mine are probably going to focus more on health and the political potential of things like love, like what he thinks those are, and but also while we talk about the political potential of these things, we'll talk about the ways that they can be co-opted and then used to stifle real thinking, real action, real organizing. Oh my God, thank you. I look fly. Oh my God, thank you. Oh, someone said I look fly. Thanks. I don't know if I say Kabir Mantha, but you're I've seen you around. Thank you. Um, Andrew Hermit, that is a smiley face. Follow smile back. Brian, liberalism isn't a real concept anyway. Swole, what up? Yo. Okay, Brian, what do you mean by that? Oh, this was the old coffee. Wrong cup. That was nasty. Oh, I hate coffee if it's not over a certain temperature or under a certain temperature. There's like, imagine a bell curve distribution. It's like the, how do you say, like the 95th percentile, like everything but like the middle is, I like those edges. The hot or cold coffee, but not warm. No way. I'm trying to see this chat. It keeps going away. So anyway, Brian, why do you think liberalism isn't a real concept anyway? What makes a concept a real concept? If a word has multiple meanings, it's still a concept. If a concept doesn't really match up to anything in reality, it's still technically a concept. A unicorn is a concept, and people could argue for the existence of scientifically natural possible unicorns in other worlds in the multiverse, or they could argue for fantasy magical unicorns in a purely imaginative universe. And in either one of those cases, you'd still have a concept, unicorn. Liberalism is a concept. There are definitely people who think they are liberals. There are definitely people who think that they are not liberals, who get called liberals. And then there are a variety of ideas that get mashed together under the header of liberalism. And typically we blame John Locke and Rousseau for thinking that liberty, equality, fraternity, for thinking that those are good ideas, for thinking that we should treat the earth as something that we all have some sort of natural claim to as part of the same family, but also just because I never agreed to the division of labor or the division of property before showing up here. And this whole thing that John Locke talks about in the second treatise of government, when he talks about tacit consent to the social contract, tacit consent. Basically, the idea is like after the Constitution gets written, if you're born into it and you kind of grow into awareness that you're in a nation state, then it has your tacit consent, which means like implicit, or like you never really had to write it down. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I guess I give my tacit consent to this system, but I'm a little butthurt about it. I'm not too happy about how the division of labor and division of property kind of shook out. Swole. Oh, I see an angry face. You okay? Okay, Swole says, I was trying to think of a way to collab with on self-care in relation to strength training. Oh, with me or with Damon? Swole's already helped me in terms of fitness. If I could just stick to a regimen, then I'd be healthy. Like he and plenty of memes say, work out today because a fascist is. Cold Dale coffee is really good. Yeah, if it's refrigerated. Brian says, liberalism is a word that I've been hearing from both sides of the political spectrum. Being a liberal in America is like being a liberal in Nazi Germany. I would agree with that in some cases. The Nocturnal Phoenix. Morning, comrades. I've not done that before, but like, I like it. Kiss fists up. Just admit you have no power as a liberal. As far as I'm concerned, liberalism is a failure. I actually made a playlist on my channel. You can, on Theoryplay, go check it out. It's called Liberalism is Garbage. I think that's what it's called. None of the videos are my own, but, I don't have to make a video on it when everyone else is doing such a good job. Okay, I'm going to need some coffee if I keep taking in all these important high-level ideas. Yeah, I know, my brain has been basically like the idea, like the level of my ideas, they're so high that my brain is basically, it needs to go into recovery mode like literally every day. I just curl up in a ball and like put blankets over myself and like run a fan and go into recovery mode for 6 hours usually. It's pretty intense. My poor brain. I don't know how we do it, but Damon. Okay, cool, Swole. Yeah, that'd be a really neat collaboration. Liberalism Institute. The idea of ideas isn't even a real idea, though. Okay, hold on. Am I being rational trolled right now, or is this like... I've been thinking about this, and I'm going to expand on it a lot when I'm talking to Damon. Anybody who could be interpreted as a dirtbag, or anybody who could be interpreted as a SJW, just using these as examples. There's lots of other kinds of content creators. I don't consider myself either of those things, but anybody who can be interpreted that way is going to be susceptible to different kinds of trolling that they're almost inevitably going to enable in their audiences, right? The dirtbag enables and kind of lets run free a little too much, perhaps sometimes. The edgelord troll, the SJW, it's the concern troll, but it goes so far though that, well, sometimes it goes far. I'm not going to get into a lot of examples right now, but I've been thinking a lot about how philosophy and rationality are super important things. Showing concern that someone's going too far with what they're saying or it might be hurtful is a really important thing. And it's hard to tell the difference between good and bad faith actors, because if, let's just say that I think rationality is oppressive or bad, foolish for whatever reason, or let's just say that I think that social justice is foolish, and I hate those. If I hated those things, then I hate watch a content producer who represents those things to me, and then I troll them on those things, right? Like, oh, you're rational? Well, then you would rationally have to agree to debate me on something absurd, like an ethno-state. Like I think it's hard to tell the difference between a troll and a good faith actor when it comes to this kind of stuff. I think that Owen Benjamin, with him as a person on the alt-right, like he's a sort of troll. He's a genuinely talented comedian and musician, but I think with him it's more of like he's mentally ill, and he needs help. And I feel really bad for him. I just tried to watch him one time and I was just like, man, this poor fucking guy, he needs help. He needs a doctor. Other people, it's like, I genuinely think that someone like Ruben could just as easily be an idiot as, or I'll use a less ableist word here. I'm trying to get into better habits here, just for my own personal hygiene. Let's just say, people are right in saying that Ruben comes across as a real doofus. But the thing is, if that's his grift, if it's all by design, to identify, to set up a primal identification with people who feel insecure when they are in the presence of important or perceived intellectual types, then it's obviously smart rhetoric on his part. It's manipulation. But it's hard to tell the difference between someone who's being rational and someone who's performing rationality so that they can be edgy, or so that they can subtly frame the discourse in a way that dog whistles to multiple parties at the same time, so that they are ultimately working the audience more than they are pursuing like any sort of fidelity to truth or justice. All right, let's check in on these comments again. Who's Owen Benjamin? Oh, he's an alt-right person nobody's made videos about on LeftTube. I don't know why. I don't want to make one about him because I don't like him and I don't want to watch him, and it makes me sick to my stomach and it makes me sad. The idea of ideas isn't even a real idea, though. Yeah, this was our conversation last night. Yep, true. The Nocturnal Phoenix, discernment with nuance is key, and I agree with you. Discernment with nuance, but nuance is also one of those things people can perform. I mean, I'm not saying, I 100% agree with you. But nuance has become a meme at this point. People are like, you need some more nuance. There's that one person whose channel is Nuance, bro. His shirt says that he didn't vote liberal, he didn't vote conservative, he voted for nuance. And then he always takes like pseudo-rational, critical of the left stances because he's trying to grift on the same audience that Rubin is. But who knows? Maybe he's a good faith actor and his conception of rationality is just lacking a little nuance, Who knows? Who knows? That's why I'm saying it's hard to freaking tell. Suck my opinion. What's up? Good to see you. There needs to be cross-pollination between socialist YouTubers and left-leaning atheist/skeptic YouTubers. Yeah, and I'm helping my brother get set up with the channel. So, okay, let's go over the updates I've given so far. And then I'll talk about what my brother is doing. So, everybody, on Friday, I'm meeting with Damon Garcia. In the comments of the video, make sure to go ahead and ask questions that you would like me to ask Damon when I interview him, or him when he interviews me. I'm in the middle of a move, and I'm trying to get a bunch of interviews done before I move. I'm also trying to set up some people with their own channels. I think that it's important to elevate voices and in my mission to spread video essay literacy right now. Like, this is my new axe to grind. It's not new. I've been on the teaching thing for a while, but I'm just like, wow, videos, like, they're hard for me because I had a million questions and didn't know where to start, and I didn't take real classes. But now that I've got that all, like, I've shown a couple people how to do some stuff, and I'm like, this is actually, I want to set some other people up. Like, I can, so I should. And one of them is a 9-year-old named Rogan, and he will be the youngest LeftTuber very soon. So stay tuned. He is. Everyone's gonna want to talk to him. Suck my opinion. You'll want to talk to Rogan. Swole, you too. Everyone's gonna want to talk to Rogan. I was saying earlier, he'll make Soph look like a 5-year-old. And he's a 9-year-old, so it's just like he spitballs facts, but he's also like really like I'll just interview him and show you all the video, and he'll set up his own channel. We'll probably do a small crowdfunding campaign so that we can pay for his domain and stuff like that for a year, and get him set up with like a godly refurbished computer that my friend will build him, because my friend salvages junk from a junkyard and builds computers with it, and has actually built some epic computers, including the one that I use, which I did have to pay for, but I'm just saying, like, you save a lot of money this way. And anyway, we're gonna set up Rogan. I've been interviewing some elder progressives who've like seen Cultural Revolution before and have been engaged in struggle their whole lives and consider themselves socialists. I've been just trying to meet with and interview and do live streams with as many people as I can before I move next week. And yeah, part of that's setting my brother up, who, he comes from the atheist skeptic community after having been an evangelical fundamentalist conservative, because we were raised that way, homeschooled, sheltered existence. because we moved from the Bay Area in California to live in the woods and be sheltered. And, you know, in some ways that was really good for us. I always, the experience of being an outsider is not one that I have to empathize for. It's just my entire existence is being an outsider. Thankfully, because I'm white, I can pass sometimes, and because I've learned, at this point, I've learned to, I can probably enter most social circles and kind of like not be too out of place. But goddamn, I used to be the most awkward person in the world, and it was forever. Eventually, I just embraced it, and now I'm just a weirdo. But anyway, I'm just talking at this point. I'm gonna go back to talking about my brother, who is setting up his channel called Rivera. I made a video about that yesterday. He talked briefly about it. His video is coming, I think, on Thursday and then Friday, and then he'll be doing ones on Monday as well. These will be like weekly live streams. He's definitely from the atheist skeptic kind of background, but he's moving in a more humanist critical theory, not critical theory, but critical thinking direction. He is some kind of a leftist. I just don't, I don't know where, I don't know. He watches a lot of Kyle Kalinske and Twitch streamers who talk politics and stuff like that. So, but I think he's got more nuance and patience and fidelity to truth than half of the popular liberal to leftist Twitch streamers do. So I think that my brother is going to be a really cool addition to the whole conversation. But I got to go because my phone's at 3%. It's going to die. I don't know why I didn't charge it last night. Maybe I did. I don't know. Let's take these off because my screen's like darker, so it's hard to see. But so anyway, yeah, I love this. I love the Nocturnal Phoenix started this fist kiss. It's great. Much love, unconditional love. My comrades, I hope you're all doing your best, being your best. I kind of agree with your point, Skeledro Man. I kind of agree with your point about platforming, though I think that there are exceptions to time. So you were saying that don't platform someone with a smaller platform if you're not willing to like endorse them. I think that we overthink how we do this on the left, and that is why the right does better making connections with one another online, because inevitably it goes both ways. Yeah, they might gain some people from me, but I'll gain some people from them. Is it an equal exchange? Probably not. But too much like, oh, do I really endorse this person kind of thoughts gets in the way of, yeah, but we can learn from disagreeing. I don't think there's enough of that. Just watching leftists try to go on Destiny proves that there's not enough of that. In fact, we're very bad at it, and everyone could do better. Everyone did great, but everyone can do better. And that should be, we all just need to get better, don't we? I wouldn't go on there because I know I'd do a terrible job. Let's see. I would not do a good job with Destiny. Someone was trying to get me to debate someone like Destiny, and I was like, what about my mode makes you think that I'd be good in a debate? Anyway, I'm not. All right, everybody, it's been fantastic. Thanks for all thanks for stopping by. Oh, coming back to the thing where I lost my thought earlier about this, about video on YouTube being different. It's not like it's in a movie theater, and we're talking about how it's, you know, it's different because people might just be passing by, and so it's kind of like you're playing in a storefront, and people are walking by and they can kind of look in, and so you see 1 million views on something. It's like 1 million people walked by. That's what that means. It doesn't mean 1 million people watched it or engaged with it. It just means 1 million people walked by. It's just like, oh, YouTube put you on a busier street because more people have given you a thumbs up when they walked by you. How many people are actually engaging though? Who knows? But at least we know with smaller channels you can actually speak to and influence the creators themselves. Not possible with the bigger channels. Not possible with the ones at the busy street corners. So anyway, everybody, thank you. Yeah, I agree, Stacy. Except that if anybody feels like they would do a good job going on there, or like that it's worth maybe like to earn some stripes or get some practice in, then I would encourage people to do it. But overall, just, yeah, leave him alone is probably a good idea. I don't believe in burning bridges, and he is a bridge. We should never burn bridges. We should love them unconditionally and just always be critical. It's like, hey, I love you as a human. I love your content. I love your audience. There's tendencies within your population that really are harmful. Some things you say are harmful. There might be some ignorance at work. I really hope that you keep reading, keep learning, keep an open mind, try your best not to hurt people. That's what I would say to Destiny. And yeah, we can remain critical and still be like, do your best. Do your best. I'm not saying you're not doing your best. I'm just saying keep doing your best. And you know, if it looks like you're hurting people or misconstruing people of my position, then that kind of sucks. But you were a cool bridge. Thanks for being a gateway drug to so many people. And also, like, you're valid even if you don't ever change. Like, I feel like that's something I'm entertaining as an idea, as a way of talking about these kinds of things. All right, everybody. It's been fantastic. Sheep in the box some sub. Give Sheep in the box some subs. He needs to get monetized and grow. Good content for the left. Hell yeah. Let's see that. Also, River Ransom. Less debate and more interviews / discourse. Absolutely. We need our own Rogan. We need our own Ruben. We need our own. And actually, I'm bringing our own Ruben soon. Stay tuned. See you all on Friday. Goodbye.